There's too much good stuff in the world to keep it to ourselves. The Gate is my talk show about everything I believe everyone should get a chance to experience. No gatekeeping. Food, music, art, women that I love, all the things that matter. I'm no expert. I'm just sharing what I love in case you might love it too. The first episode's up. Come through.
Hey, darling, come on through. I've got a little something I saved for you. Now this ain't gatekeeping, oh no man. It's sharing the sugar, that's just who I am. We'll talk tunes, lights, and silver screens, a dash of glam and in-betweens, from small town charm to big city grace. You're stepping right up to the gate.
Welcome to episode 1. The gate is officially open. I am your host, Gerald Lee, and boy, am I excited to be here. Each episode is going to start with Open the Gate, a segment where I talk about a person, place, thing that I love and I believe you should love too. And we'll end every episode by shining a light on a content creator that I believe deserves your attention. Now let's get into the episode, shall we? This week, I'm opening the gate to me, Gerald Lee, because I want to build a very sturdy and solid fan base of rabid fangirls, and I feel like I need to let y'all know who I am and why I am the way I am. So I've selected 3 stories from my past that I think really encapsulates who I am and why you should ride for me. Story 1 takes us to 7th grade. Now, at this point in my life, ladies and gentlemen, I was very well aware of the homosexuality that lied within me, but it wasn't on the top of my mind and none of nobody's business, so obviously not out of the closet yet. I find myself at my mother's friend's house while my mother and her friend decided to go play bingo. So picture this. It's me, my little brother, my little sister, my mom's friend's kids who had 2 daughters that were older than me and a daughter that was my age. Now the 6 of us are essentially like family at this point, so we're just hanging out, doing our thing, eating snacks, watching movies, listening to music. It's like 2005. There's really not much to do. Now, after a couple hours of us hanging out, having a good time, this random neighborhood girl shows up who I was unfamiliar with, but she knew the people's whom's house it was, so they let her in. And then we're hanging out still, nothing crazy. We're all having a good time when this aggravating, grating noise, I'm telling you, I hear the neighbor boy, who is the cousin of the girls who live there, the neighbor boy yelling, screaming profanities, calling me out of my name. And I'm sitting here thinking, what does this dude want with me? Me and my cadre of friends, me and this group of ruffians decide to go outside and see what's going on. It had came to the knowledge of this young man next door that I was hanging out with his girlfriend. This was news to me, all right? And mind you, I am gay. And he starts accusing me of trying to get with her, of trying to steal his girl. Her and I are like, brother, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? We got witnesses. Ain't nothing crazy going on. You could come hang out if you want to. Nobody even said you couldn't come hang out, but you want to be out here acting the crazy fool. Now, after a few minutes of us yelling at each other, he decides he wants to take this into his own hands and decides to start swinging. Now, little did he know, I had been into karate up to this point, so I was about ready to serve some whoop ass. And all I remember is wah wah. And I pieced the shit out of this kid. Absolutely dog walked him. Now, him and I were going at it for, not that long, maybe a minute or two. I see out of the corner of my eyeballs that his little brother, who was my little brother's age, his little brother tried to start swinging on my brother. And I was like, this ain't got nothing to do with y'all. Ain't got nothing to do with him. So next thing you know, I'm fighting two kids. I'm fighting the both of them. It was no problem. I don't remember even breaking a sweat. Now, after breaking up that fight and dealing with two gentlemen, guess what? Their big back mountain of a mother comes hurtling down that driveway. Because I guess from afar, she noticed that I was mollywopping both her kids. When I'm telling you, before she could even get in arm's distance of me, wow, I got her in the throat one good time. Oh my God. She was out. She really thought she was going to come lay hands on me. Mm-mm, absolutely not. At this point, I'm in a flow state and I'm mollywopping three generations of a family at one time. When I tell you this went by in the flash of an eye, and next thing I know, the cops are pulling up, putting handcuffs on me and putting me in the back of the car. And where was my mother? Where was my friend's mother? Nowhere to be found. So this kid and his little brother who I just whooped their ass, they the only ones with an adult present. So she's going off. Going. The other kids are like, he didn't start it. He's just defending himself. The cop didn't care. Arrested a child, me, a child, for disturbing the peace. To this day, I couldn't tell you what was going on with that man, but he then decides to take me down to the station. Mind you, have not talked to my mother, have not talked to my mother's friend. It is just I'm cuffed up in the back of a cop car in the seventh grade. He pulls up to the station, drags me out, perp walks my ass into the jail cell. Into the jail cell. I'm sitting there for a little bit. Next thing you know, I am getting a lie detector test. A lie detector test. This man had too much time in his day to administer a lie detector test to a child with no guardian or legal representation. I now in hindsight wish we had went and sued them for violating some rights. We could have made a damn check. But no. Nope. My mother was too busy smoking. So he's halfway through the lie detector test. My mother finally shows up and it all just kind of goes away. Nothing happened. Nothing happened from that point. But what a lesson did we learn that day is that one, you can leave me alone with some kids because I will fight. And two, I'll fight everybody. I don't care. If their grandma had come running, I'm swinging. Dad, anybody. Just don't fuck with me. And from that point on, did anybody mess with me? No. No. Sometimes violence is the answer, especially when provoked. And it was at that point that I knew that I had to, really do the public a favor and not instigate people because I can rage bait. I've had that skill since the seventh grade. All right. But I can't. I gotta use my powers for good, not for evil. But it did feel good. It did feel good. Mollywopping. All three of them. I never liked them. They was just grody little people. For story two, we're jumping forward in time to the summer before my sophomore year of college. Now, I was an orientation leader, and this is important because at the summer orientation, the last one we have before the fall session starts, which usually happens in late July, I met this kid who turned out to be a furry porn star. And this was back in 2011, 2012, when furries were still not mainstream. So that was kind of a big deal. But I met him through orientation and he seemed cool enough. And he kept talking about all the connections he had at Southern Decadence, which is a huge gay bear BDSM like festival that happens on Labor Day weekend, sometime in August, September ish. one of those holiday weekends. Now, at this point in my life, I had known alcohol not for me. When in Rome, yes, I'll indulge, I'll engage. But for the greater part, alcohol and me, we don't get along. Remember that fighting story? Imagine me inebriated. It just wouldn't end well. But I knew Southern Decadence was like a rite of passage and that I was going to get the hookup with this guy. And by the hookup, I mean let into all the VIP areas of the bars in the area. And we'll get to what happens after all the drinks. Now, the night starts off with me, a girly friend, and then two boys who ended up being into each other. But it was just a long roundabout way for the two of them to get there. And we start off at this random straight bar off of Bourbon Street. This guy comes up to us and says, "Do y'all want to do cocaine shots?" They say yes. I say, "No, I'm scared." Now, in hindsight, it was just salt and tequila, but the way he promoted it, just it didn't sit right with my core. But at this point, I decide to have two Long Islands. Remember how I said I'm not someone who drinks? Yeah, starting off with two Long Islands was not the move. It was after this second Long Island starts to hit that I get the text message from our friend that he can go ahead and get us in. We make our way to the bar. They get us in, they get us the VIP wristbands, and from there is where it starts to get a little crazy. This is where we learn we have access to a private bathroom, we have access to open bars, and we can go ape shit. I could not tell you what I had to drink from this point on in the night, but let me tell you, baby, there was plenty more. So when we first get there, we're hanging out. This connection of mine introduces me to a few people in the room. Guess what these few people in the room do? Pornography. This one guy's like, "Yeah, I own like 50 domains. I own boys smoking. I own boys smoking with feet. I own," and just as like listing all these different type of fetish sites that he runs. And listen, a good thing I didn't need money that bad at the time, but I considered being like, huh? So I get introduced to the wildest cadre of people. After the round of introductions is done, me, my girly pop friend, are decided to go hang out in the dance area. The other two boys are like, "Yeah, sure, we'll go too." I look at the two of them and I'm like, "Hey, do y'all want to have a contest?" And they're like, "What kind of contest?" I'm like, "Let's see who out of the three of us can make out with the most people." Now, let's get to the end of that story real quick. Them, we catch later macking on each other. So they lost. I win. I shockingly win. And I could have easily lost. Now, here's how I win. We're dancing. We're dancing. We're on the floor. I'm a woo girl. I'm a woo girl when I'm drunk. I'm talking woo. At this point, we've been at it for a good few hours, and it's about almost 1:30 in the morning. I am not a big go out person, nor am I a big drink person. So by 1:30, I was ready to go. I remember going to use the restroom, pissed everywhere. I don't think a single drop made it in the toilet, but not a single drop made it on me. So a win is a win. I remember leaving the bathroom and then hearing someone be like, "They gotta go." And who they was, couldn't tell you. I don't think it was me. I just overheard. And even then, to this day, I could have daydreamed it, made it up because I was ready to go. So I look at Morgan. I'm like, we need to bounce. We need to go find those other two little gay boys because one of them had driven us there. And this is an important PSA. Do not drink and drive. Okay? Don't do it. Have a sober driver. All right? Turns out neither of them were drunk. All right? That's how drunk I was because one of them was a holy Christian and he didn't do that. And the other one was, well, driving us. So thankfully he stays sober. Now it's at this point we leave the bar, and I just remember stumbling through the French Quarter trying to find the truck. Them not remembering where the hell we parked it, and we walk, and we stumble upon like this little like grocery store area, and I'm like, I'm gonna sit here. Y'all need to go in, get me something to drink, and then come back, and we'll regroup. They had all three of them head inside and leave my wasted ass on the street by myself. And by on the street, I mean I was sitting in a chair at a little table, but I digress. I'm just, woo, wobbling. I got some silent woos going, some woo, some lowercase woos. And all of a sudden, I hear the bell of a bike. Ring, 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 ring. I open my eyes, and you will never guess who I see in front of me. And the reason why you'll never guess is because I didn't tell you yet. My family growing up told me the story of this man in New Orleans called the Bicycle Man, and how no matter what storm, hurricane, whatever, this man just persisted. And that if ever I was blackout drunk on Bourbon Street or in the French Quarter, that are the odds are high that I'll run into him. And sure enough, just as they had described him, there he is before me. And he's like biking in circles. And I'm like fucked up, just trying to seem like normal, just trying to seem like a normal person. When I hear this man say, "Do you want to die tonight?" And I was like, "No, no." And he goes, "Okay." And then gone. I'm not okay. Listen to me here. Do you want to die tonight? No. Gone. He didn't drive away. He ceased to exist. So now I just believe that this ghost is wandering the French Quarter, ready to bring people who are too fucked up just to take them out. Because people be like that. People be like getting real sad. They'd be like, I'm fucked up. I wanna but no, I was good. I was good. And and as I say no, my friends walk out the store, and again this man ceased to exist. They're like, "Who the fuck are you talking to?" I'm like, "The Bicycle Man." They said, "What Bicycle Man?" We look up and down the street. No cars, nothing. No, nothing to obstruct him. So to this day, I occasionally think about Bicycle Man, and I wonder if he's gotten anybody. He's got to have gotten somebody, you know. And what happened to them? And then we find our way to the car. I end up falling asleep on the couch of the guy who drove us there. And the next morning, I wake up at like 6:30 in the morning. His roommates, I was close friends with. I was more so friends with his roommates than the one who drove us there. And so we kiki in the living room, smoking 6:37 in the morning, just debriefing. When we see Sister Christian, brother Christian, gay, okay, walk of shame out of the guy who drove us room. And boy, did we, the second he walked out that front door of the house, hooting and hollering, because that was a big deal for our friend group. It was a big deal. And that was that. In summation, that was the night I truly learned to pace yourself, and also Long Island iced teas is the devil, and also gay people need help a lot, just a lot of help. Story number 3 takes us to the summer before my 5th year of college, because it took me 5 years to graduate. Now, mind you, I was a first generation, low socioeconomic status, LGBT. I had everything going against me, so 5 years was impressive. Now it's the summer before my 5th year of college. I am sharing a 2-bedroom house with 3 other gentlemen. My bedroom is split with me and my cousin. The other bedroom is split between 2 handsome gentlemen who I did have the privilege of living with for a couple years. Now, my cousin was selling drugs. And by selling drugs, I mean selling weed. So it wasn't anything too serious, but let's just say it brought some unwanted attention to our home. Now, the entire year, I'm not joking, leading up to the night we got robbed, which was on like May 25th, every single night up until I got robbed, I had friends hanging out. And guess what? These friends had nice vehicles. So it didn't help that there was always people coming in and out of the house, and then it didn't help that there were people with nice cars parked there every night until about 1 or 2 a.m. Now, the day of the robbery was a great day. I did almost die. We went tubing for one of the guys in our friends group's birthday, and it was a blast. Just me and a bunch of dudes. Although, again, I did die almost immediately because the way river tubing works is this shit ain't regulated. Dumb people, you gotta trust that the people with the floats know what's going on with the river and that it's good to go. I hopped in, almost fell out the tube, drowned immediately, just because of the state of the river. But I figured it out and I made it work and I lived. So we going down this river damn near all day. By the time we get home, it's like 8 o'clock. Everyone is tired. No one hangs out. So my two roommates, thank God, were gone that night. It was just me and my cousin. And when I'm telling you, I just felt in my bones something bad was gonna happen. Picture this. I'm honk shoeing on my side of the room, just shoo, shoo. When next thing I know, I'm standing. I woke up in a standing position. And I'm like, this weird, this can't be normal. Next thing you know, I hear a loud boom. That can't be good neither, right? And before I know it, my bedroom door is open, okay? I see through my bedroom door into the living room a masked man. Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Wake up. Wake up. I'm going to call him Kevin. Kevin, wake up. We being burgled. He is dead to the world. I slam the door shut. I put my back up against it. Now, behind the bedroom door is my cousin slash roommate's bed. And so I'm propping myself up against it and up against the door. Meanwhile, thinking, hey, if he has a gun, I sure hope he doesn't just start shooting through the door, you know? Hey, but I'm not going out like a little ball sack because ball sacks are weak and sensitive. You get it? Y'all get what I'm saying here? And so now here I am looking goofy. I have to get off this dude. He pops off the bed. Boy, pissed. Pissed, 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 pissed. Give me your fucking money. Give me your wallet. Give me all your drugs. Let me let you know what we had in the house at the time. Not a penny, nickel, dime, quarter, dollar bill. We didn't have a franc. We didn't have a nothing. We didn't have a euro, not a peso, not a dime to our name. Not a drug to be seen. So I'm showing him my wallet empty. My wallet empty. I put on my bank account negative dollars. And he's like, where's the drugs? Where's the drugs? I said, you can go, feel free to look. Go look. So his homeboy got his gun on us while he's rifling through all our stuff, going through our roommate stuff, and eventually they bring us in the living room. It's at this point that the first intruder, the one that I embarrassed, he's like, my name is Latoya Coco La Chanel LaFleur. I don't know. It was some bookie dookie ridiculous name. He's like, this is my name. This is my name. And you can call NOPD and they'll tell you who I am. They'll tell you how scared I am. They'll let you know who was in your house. And I was like, okay. Like I'm like taking notes. I'm like, okay, uh-huh. Yeah. And he's like, where is the money, the drugs? We need something. It is at this point that my cousin realizes they might just kill us if they don't leave with nothing. He says, look, I got this expensive glass. They're like, all right, whatever. I guess we'll take it. We put that in a bag for him. We had an Xbox 360. They take the Xbox 360, which, oh, so sad because it has Skate, and Skate was such a good game. They take the Xbox, and this really was the most tense part of the whole situation. I go to pick up the Xbox. I go to pick up the Xbox, y'all. I hit the eject button. Oh no! I hit the eject button. The damn tray comes out. Oh my god, embarrassing. I close it. He's like, put it in the fucking bag. I'm like, dude, you see what's going on? Again, I'm not taking this shit seriously whatsoever. I said, you saw that? You saw like it's closing. It closes. I go to pull the cord out. Oh my god, would you believe I hit the button again? Oh my God, it ejects a second time. I put it down. I said, "You do it. You do it." So it closes. He unplugs it. He takes it. So they've got the glass. They've got the Xbox. And he's like, "We need drugs and money. Where are your drugs? Where's your money?" I, at this point, have to take him by the hand to our kitchen. I open the freezer. I open the fridge. It is barren. Barren. I'm like, "What do you want? Take whatever you want out of here." Nothing, close it. I open up the cabinets. I'm like, "Brother, what do you not? You went through our dressers. We have nothing to hide. Believe me, if we had it at this point, we'd have given it to you to get you out of here." And he's like, "Damn, I guess we really got the wrong house." "You think you got the wrong fucking house? You think you got the wrong house?" Ah! And I'm like, "Can y'all just get the fuck out?" They're going. They're going. He shoos me back in the living room. He does his little dance one more time. His little, again, "My name is blah." And I'm like, this is getting out of control. He finally leaves. His homie right behind him. Did they have the courtesy of closing the door? No. Left the shits wide open. We're sitting there. I'm woosahing, thinking, finally, this whole ordeal is over with. We're good. We're good. My cousin says, "We need to get the F word out of here." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, what possibly could happen at this point?" He says, "Hello, hello." What's not clicking to you? If someone sent them here to collect drugs and money, and they did not leave with drugs or money, what do you think the next logical step is? And I'm, again, still not really locking in on what he's trying to say. He goes, "They're gonna fucking kill us. They are going to come back and kill us." So now I'm like, well, shit. I get my damn Crocs on. I put some damn shorts on, and he is trying to get everything he can together. And next thing you know, we slinking out the back door ourselves, running through the back of this neighborhood, trying to get to the University of New Orleans campus, because what was going to be there that could help us? Jack shit, but it's felt better than staying in that house. So we sneak our way to the campus, and finally we're at the residence halls. They have some benches, like we're hanging out, and I make one call, that's all. And through sheer luck, my friend was sleeping on my fraternity brother's arm and felt his Apple Watch vibrating from the phone call. So they woke up at 3 in the morning and came and picked us up, and, got firsthand account of the story. And after that, it was really hard to explain to pretty much anybody that wasn't my friends or my aunt that it was, why we got robbed and why we didn't call the police. No one on campus, like my bosses and stuff like that, like, they're like, "Why didn't you call the police?" Again, they're all white women. "Why didn't you call the police? What was the police going to do for me? What were the police going to do for me?" Sure, they didn't know that my cousin was a drug dealer, but even then, what were they going to do for me? Nothing. Absolute. NOPD was going to do jack shit to help that problem. And the last thing I'm doing is bringing police in the neighborhood. Why? So now I could be the person who brought the police? No. No, 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 no. But we ended up moving into this nice gated apartment complex, and from us getting robbed to the apartment complex was about a month. At that point, my cousin managed to ruin his relationship with our family to such a degree that I ended up getting another roommate to live with me in the gated apartment community because he got cut off. So, yeah, those are three stories from my life that really kind of explain who I am as a person. I am a ride or die. I am not afraid of violence if it's necessary. And I'm always down to make a little jokey joke. Like, that's what we're gonna do at the end of the day. Okay. And now for our last segment, check them out, where I talk about content creators that I believe you should check out. And the first one in the Check Them Out Hall of Fame is Miss Kristen from A Little Bit A Lot podcast. Over the last year, her and I have grown closer and closer, and it's just it I really feel like an older brother. I feel an older brother instinct to her. Her content is just so engaging. It's so energizing. She's so passionate about everything she talks about. She is the host of her own podcast called A Little Bit a Lot. And you guessed it, she's going to talk a little bit about a lot of things. Now, I did have a written statement that I'm going to read verbatim from my iPad because I almost cried a little bit writing it, and I want to make sure I get it right. Kristen's whole platform is built on creating a community to discuss topics ranging from mental health, pop culture, music, TV, and anything in between. I admire Kristen because she's the textbook definition of a hidden gem. She posts weekly episodes of her podcast, and for the most part, she runs the podcast alone. I'm constantly impressed by her ability to monologue week in and week out. On top of this, when she does bring on a guest, Kristen transitions into a flawless interviewer and never wastes a second of her guest's time. The conversation flows smoothly, and Kristen makes sure to keep everyone's attention for the entire conversation. What I would like for you, the listener of this here talk show, to do is to make sure to subscribe to Kristen at all of her socials and make sure to engage with her content. Follow her on YouTube at A Little Bit a Lot Podcast, on Instagram and TikTok, all under the same handle. Make sure to engage with her content because she's so close to cracking 1K on YouTube, and I want to see her get there sooner rather than later. Kristen, you know I am your biggest fan. I am so proud of you, and I can't wait to have you on an episode of The Gate. Dang, y'all, just like that, episode 1 is in the books. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this, I hope you'll come back. There is plenty more where this came from. Make sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Gerald with 2 D's, Lee with 3 E's. And stream the audio version of this podcast wherever you can find them. I wonder what the gate's going to open next week. Until next time, the gate's always open.